What's up? Roger Ratchet coming at you again. Today we're working on the 04 Grand Cherokee, and today we're going to be changing out the battery terminals. Now, for some of you guys that don't know, whenever you need to change out the battery terminals, broken or wore out or whatever, a lot of times on these not so old vehicles, they don't give you any extra wire, as you can see right here. So if you cut that at the terminal, that does not give you very much wire at all to fix into your other terminal. So what we're doing today is something I've never personally done. I've seen old timers do it, and they've explained to me not to get the wires too hot, because if you melt your shielding off of your wires, you got to change your wires. Well, today we're going to try old timer trick out. For this, we're going to need just your old average propane handheld torch. And you can pick these up pretty cheap. What you got to do is, we got us an iron pan here to catch our melted lead. We got wooden blocks down here so as to not, the pan when it gets hot, not to melt through anything. So what we got to do is get this here, angle the terminal down into the pan, and just take the tip of our flame onto the back of our, well, if I can keep it lit, just put the tip, well, I could have bought a better torch, I guess, but just, well, this torch is bound to determine to make me fail this little experiment here. But yeah, just, and again. Okay. It's going to make me break out the big torches, what it's going to do. But we just, and again. Sorry guys. Job only goes as well as the equipment works. So let's try this one more time. Just keep your flame down there below your wires. Okay guys. We're going to pause the video. We'll be right back. I'll get the big torch out here. Boy, that's a long flame. Okay. All the way back. Okay, we're back. This time I have a torch that will work. Okay. Now, can you see this flame in the camera? Good. So, we don't want to put our heat too much on our wires. We just want to kind of melt the lead off of them. So we're going to start down here low, just sort of at the top of our hole here. Let me turn my oxygen down here just a bit. We don't need quite that much heat. And yeah, just try to keep your flame going away from your wires. You don't want to burn up the insulation off of them. We just want to melt the lead off of our old terminals off of our wires so we can reuse our wiring. And it's probably not a bad idea, guys, to wear a mask while you're doing this. This isn't exactly the kind of thing you want to be breathing in. And make sure that you're not directing your heat toward any hoses or whatnot. Make sure you keep those out of the way. And we'll still have to trim some of the insulation back, but at least we're getting to reuse our wiring. We've got that one melted off pretty decent, actually. And this will put some heat in the wire, so you might want to use a glove. And the other one will do the same way. And the main thing to remember here, guys, is remember which one is your positive, which one is your negative. You don't want to get your positive and negative mixed up. That would not be good. In which case, the one that I am working on currently is my negative wire. Now your handheld torch, it's not going to work quite as fast as this one. This is a propane torch setup, so it doesn't get as hot as acetylene, but it does get a lot hotter and a lot faster than your little handheld setup. So our next step is to let that cool off a bit, because guys, I think that's a little bit too warm for us to work with right now. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in about 10-15 minutes, and we'll go from there. And we're back. And while we were on break, I took my wire wheel on my drill bit, or on my drill, cleaned these up a little bit, and they both look pretty good. So I'm not going to separate any wires, and I'm not going to trim any insulation back. So I guess the old timer's trick really does work. It saved me some wire length here. So, you know, if you don't have a wire wheel to put on a drill, just a regular wire brush will work. All you have to do is clean it up to where it gets good connection. Okay, so now that we've got that done, now we put our terminals on. This one is marked negative, so we'll put it on our negative side. Now this type of terminal here, it's got 2 holes for accessories and 2 holes for main wires. We're going to keep these wires together, so we're only going to use 1 hole. So I tightened this down, just snugged it along with these 2 smaller ones, just to keep them from falling out going down the road. And all we do is the hole we're going to use, we back this set screw out to where we have clearance to fit it on our wire, fit it in there as far as we can get it in there, and then we tighten it down, which that takes up most of the room, so we don't have a lot to tighten here. And we just turn this down to where we know that wire won't come out of it. There's that one. And this one here, it's marked positive right there, so we'll put it on our positive wire. We'll make sure I snug that down. Then we'll back this one out, put it on our wire, get our wire in there as far as it'll go, and tighten it down. And like I said, we tighten these down as far as we have to make sure that we're getting a good connection and that our wire doesn't come out. And there we go. It's as easy as that. And now I am going to move these wooden blocks out of the way and go retrieve our battery. Now we set our battery down in here. Get it in place. Pull our terminals up. Put our positive side on here first. Get him down as far as we can go here. I may need a screwdriver. Open this up a little bit so I can get him to go down a little bit more. Well, it looks like that's as far as it's going. So, oh, wrong wrench. We're going to tighten this down. And you always want to do your positive terminal first. And most people won't tell you why you do your positive terminal first. Well, that's either a 9/16 or a 13. We're going to try 9/16. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you today why you do your positive terminal first. And never melt them terminals off with the battery in the vehicle. Move it away from the vehicle. You don't want to light any battery gases up. It's not pleasant. But here's why you do your battery terminal, positive terminal first. Because while you're tightening it up, if you happen to hit the body or anything, without the negative terminal attached, you won't ignite any sparks, you won't light up any battery gases. So that's why you always do your positive terminal first, then your negative terminal. So, we got our positive on there tight. Let's put our negative on there. And when you use this type of a battery terminal, guys, remember that these backs stand up taller than your standard battery terminal. So make sure that if you want to use this type of terminal, that when you shut the hood, you have clearance to where you're not shorting your battery out on your hood. Now, negative is tight. Now all we have left to do is put our protective covers on. Now what these do is basically an extra safety precaution to keep it from shorting out, seeing as how they're bigger than standard battery terminals. And you'll have to move them here and there to get them fit on there, but there it is, guys. Old timer's way of changing out battery terminals. So, for tips and tricks, make sure to come back and see me again, okay? So until next time, I'm Roger Ratchet, and thank you for watching.